tomorrow is always going to be tomorrow. Like, whatever it is, just do it. You know what I mean? We are our biggest critics. I can talk myself out of anything. So one, if you believe in something and you love something and you care about it, just go do it.
It's the ins and outs with Mackie.
Hi, I'm Jamie Hernandez, and this is the Ins and Outs with Mackie, a show about awesome gear and awesome people. We'll be bringing you musicians, engineers, podcasters, streamers, and sometimes the occasional Mackoid. If you're new to the show, make sure to hit that subscribe button on your favorite platform to get all the latest Mackie updates as soon as they are out. So our guest today is no stranger to the music industry. She was named one of Wide Open Country's Artists to Watch in 2020, who performs with a style that is truly her own. Her passion for singing and songwriting since a young age has garnered her a reputation of being a notable songwriter with an iconic-sounding, impeccably strong voice that accents her Americana sound. She's currently climbing the charts with new music and is here to share her journey with us. Welcome to the show, Allie Colleen. How's it going, Allie?
Hi, Jamie. How are you?
Good, wonderful. How are you feeling today?
Oh, I'm so good. I'm kind of tired. It's a big week for us. I've got 2 horses. They are amazing, but all that to say, they've been in a stable for a while, a couple counties over. And so this week we started our barn. So me and my family, we're all just building this barn together in my backyard. So it has already kind of been a long work day, but it's been awesome.
Awesome, because I did actually have questions about that later on. So we'll definitely get to the animals and what you're building. But yeah, let's jump right in. Can you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself, Allie?
Absolutely. So my name's Allie Colleen. Colleen is my middle name. So my artist name is just my first and middle name. I'm from Oklahoma. I moved up here to Nashville, where I currently reside with my husband. And I moved up here in 2014 to go to Belmont University, which is kind of this music college here in Nashville. And I got a degree in songwriting, whatever that means. It was awesome. And
congratulations
there. Thank you. Really enjoyed it. Met a lot of really great people. Learned a lot of stuff. Didn't learn a lot of stuff, all that kind of thing. And just kind of been on the road since. So we've really enjoyed these last 2 years just on the road trying to figure it out. Arguably a year on the road because this year is 2020. So we haven't really got to do anything. But that's just kind of me. I'm a singer-songwriter. I love writing just as much as I love singing, kind of both parts of me, all that kind of stuff.
Well, let's start there. So I heard that you wrote and you actually studied poetry before you became a songwriter and performer. You want to start there? How did that lead into you actually becoming a singer and songwriter?
When I was little, I remember my parents kind of encouraging me to check out poetry and stuff as I was learning to read. It just made sense to kind of read in a natural rhythm. And I just fell in love with poetry when I was really, really little. And so I loved poetry. I totally tended to lean more towards kind of the darker stuff, kind of the Edgar Allan Poe thing. So needless to say, all the things I was writing as a kid was angsty and whatever. And I loved it. And so I started writing my own poetry and played a little bit with lyrics around 8 and just started diving into it and figuring it out. But the songwriting thing really didn't come together for me until I learned how to play guitar. And my parents bought me my first guitar. It was a little Washburn. It was tiny by the time I used it. So they bought it for me when I was probably 9. And I think I just stared at it for a couple of years. I was like, that's hard. I don't want to do that. And I was like, someone will play guitar for me one day. I just want to sing. But I was having a really hard time connecting melody to lyrics and that kind of thing as I started writing more. And so I started learning guitar when I was about 14, right as I got into high school. And loved it. Absolutely fell in love with it. I name all my guitars. They're just buddies of mine. They're just friends and we write together. And it's been really, really cool and a really cool journey. And it's definitely set me on this path at an early age.
Awesome. So was there a defining moment when you realized that you weren't just a poet? I have a voice that's my own and it's powerful and this is a career that I need to pursue.
I don't know.
Maybe it was the guitar.
The guitar moment was a big deal for me, and I always performed, in my hometown. I always played music. I always sang in chapel, all that kind of stuff. I went to a Christian elementary school, so we had chapel every Thursday, and I would sing and do that kind of thing. But I don't really know that there was a staple moment in the sense of I've literally just always loved this. I've always wanted to do it. I always knew I was going to do it. I'm not really good at anything else. Like, I love music. It's what I do. And all that to say, I don't think there was a big moment, just because the moment probably happened so long ago. Like, I just love music. This is just what I do.
So you hit the ground running. Your single "A Work in Progress" debuted in July 2019, but you've had a lot of accomplishments since then. What has this year been like for you?
This year has been a really tough year for me because there's been a lot of accolades, a lot of really big deals, a lot of really celebration moments for sure. And I don't want to belittle those at all. But at the same time, my affirmation as a singer and as a songwriter comes from audience. It comes from just, connecting with the audience and the eye contact and all of that kind of stuff, and the applause and the emotions that my songs create for people. And thus, just reiterate that I'm not crazy, because that's how I feel. You know what I mean? And that's where all the stuff comes from me. And this year has literally not allowed that to happen. And so this year has been really tough for me in that sense. Just because it's been a year to sit at home and watch numbers. And the numbers have been awesome. We have our first debut radio single this year. Even just getting to watch the numbers for Work in Progress, it was cool because we were performing so much that it was almost like every couple months I would check in on it and I'd be like, wow, we've come so far. Like, that's awesome. Now it's like every day I'm like, what is this? Every day, kind of thing. So it's honestly been a really tough year for me, but that doesn't mean that big things haven't happened this year.
Absolutely. You've been described as having the ability to silence a room. What do you think is so special about the presence of a live music performance that you're able to grip someone's attention like that?
I don't want to put a damper or a judgment or anything like that on what other artists do and what other people do. But just from personal experience, it's really easy to try and do what you think people want you to do. That's just natural for us as humans, and especially with what is played on radio nowadays, it's really easy to assume what kind of music people want to hear. And as much as I want to lean that way and I want to do that, that's just not who I am. Like, I play songs that make me feel something. And that's often a darker emotion. It's often more of a sadness or like just kind of this melancholy feeling or whatever. So a lot of my songs are a little deeper. They're a little tougher to swallow kind of thing. And I think sometimes people don't give enough credit to feeling that way. You know what I mean? So instead of talking about it, or going to therapy, or making a Facebook post and everybody judging you, songs allow you 3.5 minutes to sit in those emotions and not worry about what other people think about you, because you're not talking, it's just, it creates this moment. And I truly think the silencing of the room doesn't really have as much to do with me as it has to do with what they're living in their minds as the song is playing. And that's what's important.
That's awesome. You really are the medicine for the soul, as they say. So you have had a lot of success, and I know it's been hard this year, but you've had a lot of success on social media as well, and you're well on the path to millions of views, Allie. What do you think has been the importance of using social platforms now to create and connect with your fans?
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine 2020 without it. You know what I mean? As tough as it is, and as much as us artists joke about, oh, we're so happy to talk to somebody that's not on an iPhone, I've got to put on concerts from my home. You know what I mean? And I've got to keep people safe in the same way. When this whole quarantine thing started and when we all started getting locked down in our houses and all that stuff, in the beginning, I just wanted to play, and I really felt like it was someone's decision if they were going to go out or not. Like, that's not my fault if you come out or not. But then I realized, no, if I play at said bar tonight and somebody was going to stay in, but they don't because they have a chance to come see me, and then God help if something happens, I really do feel responsible for that. So 2020 and social media has allowed us this amazing, safe platform to provide people entertainment in their homes. And again, that's a really tough feedback for me because there's always a lag, you know what I mean? And so you'll say something and you're just waiting on the comments to like show that they heard you or whatever. and that kind of thing. But the feedback when you're done with the live and everything's over and you get to go back and look at the comments, people are so grateful for any kind of entertainment or connection in 2020. And so I feel like just taking a little bit of time out of my day to really pursue my followers and give them content that they like and give them content that makes life seem normal right now is a really big deal for everybody. And I know that is true because of the artists and the people that I follow on social media that have given me entertainment this year, and made me feel still a fan and still relevant and all that stuff in their life. So I think social media is absolutely crucial. As silly as it seems sometimes to us and as frustrating as it can be, I think it's really important.
I believe it even captured the attention of a radio show host, Bobby Bones. I wrote it down. I didn't want to forget that. How much of your drive do you think attributed to that success?
So the Bobby Bones thing was actually really, really interesting because Bobby Bones saw a video that I had put out in probably 2015 or 2016. And it was a cover video. And they reached out at that time. And, they actually talked about it. They actually didn't reach out to me personally. They just put it on the air, which was crazy to just hear one day when I was listening to the show. I'm a fan. I love that show. And I was listening and I was like, that's me. And they were like, Allie, dude, we're a fan. We think you're great. Consider this an open invitation to the show if you want. So they didn't reach out to me personally, but they put it on the airwaves and it got to me. And I had a really big decision to make back then because I didn't have any music out. I made a deal with my parents that I wouldn't really pursue music hard in the sense of creating a well-known artist name for myself until I got that degree, until I accomplished those 4 years and did that. And I'm so glad that I did. But at that time, it was a really sticky place for me because I was like, I could go on the Bobby Bones show, but at the same time, I have nothing to promote. Like I have nothing to give them. I don't have any songs out. And I was so nervous to burn up that traction before I even had it. So I made the decision to just write a letter to Bobby and I just explained my situation. And I was like, listen, I really hope in the future there's a place for me on your show. And for that to come full circle after Work in Progress and for them to reach out and to invite me on the show was really, really amazing. And again, just really, really reiterated that you just got to go with your gut, especially in this industry, and I think it also really reiterated for me that you don't have one chance to just blow. You know what I mean? Like if you're really supposed to do this and you really work hard, people are going to notice that and they're going to appreciate it and they're going to come back to you when you're ready. I mean, I can't imagine anybody being frustrated with an artist because they want to use your outlet to the fullest ability kind of thing. So Bobby Bones and the entire team of the Bobby Bones show was very kind to me to extend me that grace time and to understand that I was a student and let me kind of grow myself as an artist. And I'm very, very proud of that whole interaction that we did.
You came from a musical family, right? And not everybody has that, but not everybody who comes from a musical family is going to get into music, so it could go either way. I love that.
I think in any industry, if you're listening to this as an artist or a chef, literally any industry that I can think of, it's always okay to have questions. I feel like there's this weird taboo in the music industry where you're supposed to have it figured out, especially coming from a music family. A lot of people think I know how everything works. I don't have a clue who anything works. I really don't. And even at Belmont, I was just a student that wanted to write music. I didn't really listen to any of my classes, you know what I mean? Because you just truly don't learn stuff until you go and do it. And I think that that's okay. I think it's okay to give yourself buffer room. And two, with a show as large as Bobby Bones, I didn't know what was going to happen after I was on the show. Maybe nothing, maybe something huge. And I was not going to jeopardize my promise that I had with my parents that I was going to do college, because I guarantee you if something big would have came from the Bobby Bones show back in 2016, there's definitely a true possibility there that I wouldn't have even finished school. I would have jumped into the artist thing. And again, those 4 years to grow as a person were so, so crucial for me. And so I think it's always important to just trust yourself, I just think that's important for everybody in any industry.
Absolutely. So your debut track is called Work in Progress, and your music is referred to as layers of love and heartbreak that have shaped you. Your music's so personal, and it's even transparent when it comes to your vocal and the delivery, which you seem to focus a lot on. Does this all lend to the complete Allie Colleen?
I close my eyes a lot when I sing. And sometimes people think that comes from nerves or that I'm not confident enough to sing with my eyes open, or I've heard literally everything in the book as to why I close my eyes. It's really interesting, honestly. But the true thing is I sing for myself. I love singing. I literally grew up sitting in my closet and singing. I loved it. And it was so personal, and I didn't really care too much about what other people thought about it, which I can say as an adult, I've kind of lost. You know, I definitely need the affirmation of the crowd. I definitely need that stuff now. One, because I'm used to it and I've tasted it, you know, like once you've tasted it, you can't lose it. And I just, that kind of thing. But singing for me has just always been this therapy, because I'm not very good at speaking about how I feel. I'm really not, but I can write about it and I can sing it to you, and you can tell in my voice whether I believe in what I'm singing or not. And that's just unapologetically me. You know, that's just what I do. And I know there was so many other people put on this earth to write happy songs. It's not me. It's just not. That's not, you know, if I do write one, I'm so proud. Our current single right now, Ain't the Only Hell, which you and I talked about a little earlier. It's like, that's a fun song. It's fun and it's happy and it's cool. And every day I'm like, where did this come from? Because, you know, I don't typically do stuff like that. But I guess in reference to that song, I just thought about my mama, and my mama is nothing but fun. So I think all of it too just depends on what you're writing about and why.
And that goes to why, also why it's better to hear an artist that's singing about what they believe and what they're living in. So, I Go My Own Way is the first line of your debut song. And like you said, you're so unapologetically yourself. It's definitely a declaration of who you are, Allie. Can you share what it's been like for you to carve your own path and create a career for yourself?
Man, it's been really, really rewarding. My whole life I've been somebody's something, you know what I mean? And that falls into a lot of people. And I'm very honored to be who I am, but my whole life I've been somebody's daughter, which is very true. I am. And I love my parents and I love my family. But I'm finally really starting to feel like Allie Colleen just stands on her own. You know, it was really hard for me to accept help when I moved into town, or to accept even praise or compliments, because I just chalked it all up to the bloodline. You know, I just didn't really think it was genuine. But I've seen what Allie Colleen music does to people, and I've seen those reactions. And it's been literally so rewarding, you know, because my whole life I thought I might have been born to do this, but I also was born with help, and nobody else gets help, and that's not fair. And I've really learned to just grow out of that. You know, I don't overthink too much anymore why I was born into the family I was born into. You know, I don't think too much into the predestined thing. I just think about the people that are coming to the shows, and the people that are commenting on the videos and the posts, and those people that just truly do try and figure out Allie Colleen and who she is and what she is. And it has been so rewarding. It's been the hardest thing I've ever done also. You know, this industry is really hard and really challenging, but I have met amazing people that are fully behind me 100%. My husband's one of them. I've never met someone who believes more in Allie Colleen than my husband, Jonathan. And just the people that I've met along the way, being unapologetically me, has really reiterated that you are who you are for a reason. And you can spend your whole life fighting it if you want, or you can just put your big girl boots on and deal with it and just do what you love to do. And that's going forward for me. That's all I'm going to do.
Amen to that. Well, you have some awesome songs. Would you be willing to share one or two with us?
I would love to. Oh, I would love to. I would love to. Yes. I want to play my single for you. My moms are the most important thing to me on the planet. I have two amazing moms, both rowdy, hell-raising women, to say the least. And it is 100% their fault, and a couple of other women's fault. Why I am who I am, totally their fault. They can either take credit for it or be responsible for it, whatever they want to do. But my moms are just amazing. And this song was actually really, really special for me to write, because I just got to sit down with my mom and be like, Mom, give me the dirt. Like, what'd you used to do? Like, if you ever got in trouble, what was it for? Like, what was it? And then that was so cool and special to get to talk to her about, which is like what all the second verse encompasses. The first verse is just literally about this photograph that I have seen of my mother my whole life. and never thought too much about it. She's a babe, always has been, always will be, just this tan babe. And I just saw it differently one day. I just saw the woman that my mom probably left behind a little bit to become a mom, and as moms do. And I think that's so cool about moms, because I don't want to change anything about my life. You know what I mean? And they literally change everything. Moms are so selfless and all that kind of stuff. And so all that to say, getting to sit with my mama and talk to her about all the stuff that she used to do, it was all stuff that I was not allowed to do. And so that's kind of where your tongue-in-cheek chorus comes in of like, Mom, you had to go find out for yourself. I'm going to do the same thing. And you're a hell-raising woman, and so am I, because of you. So just let me do it, kind of thing. So this just literally always goes out to all the moms. But this is Ain't the Only Hell My Mama Raised. And it's our current radio single. We saw the top 30s for a week, and then we got bounced back. So this is our top 40s radio hit, you guys. Big deal. But I hope you like it.
Oh, and she had tan legs for days, soaking up them summer rays on a grasshopper zero turn. She wore a Budweiser bikini top, and it made my heart stop, looking into a photograph and my mama looking back. She was the same age that I am now, so beautiful, so young and proud. You can't expect me to learn from something I ain't even tried. Now I ain't afraid to crash and burn, just wanna live while I'm alive. I got her blood in my veins, I ain't the only hell my mama raised. Oh, and I've heard stories about my mama sneaking out and going down to the rodeo. Little kings that cavalcade, two-stepping on a tailgate, and what I'd give to go back in time to tumbleweeds on Friday night. And that fire in her is a blaze in me. No fear in this world's gonna stop me. You can't expect me to learn from something I ain't even tried. Now I ain't afraid to crash and burn, just wanna live while I'm alive. I got her blood in my veins, I ain't the only hell my mama raised. My mama raised. No, you can't expect me to learn from something I ain't even tried. I ain't afraid to crash and burn, just wanna live while I'm alive. I got her blood in my veins, I ain't the only hell my mama raised.
To all the mamas,
If everyone's not calling their mom after that right now,
I think of my mama. Every time I play it, I think of both my moms, and I'm just so grateful, because there are some people that don't have awesome moms like I do. you know, and I pray that if that's your case, I hope that you found somebody who is a mom in your life, because moms are just the greatest things on the planet. It's a really special one for me because there's not a lot of stuff I feel like for my mama in life that just gets to be about her. You know, I feel like she's in a wonky situation where there's a lot of things where her light, you know, is kind of shadowed by a couple of things, and this song is 100% about her. You know, and so this song kills my mama every time I play it. I can't play it in front of her because I'll just cry. But I just love my moms. They're amazing.
So your team has gotten their hands on one of our Mackie DL16 digital mixers. How excited are you to get back to rehearsing with your whole band, Allie?
I cannot wait. So 2020 was actually the first band year for me. I've always played by myself, just me and my guitar. I've gotten very comfortable with that. And also very limited. You know, I feel like there's a whole performance, Allie Colleen, that we haven't got to find yet, because they're got to do a lot of thinking between the guitar and the singing and all that stuff. And what do I do with my feet? So just meeting the players that I have met. I'm currently traveling with two buddies of mine, Kaylin Berry and Gabe Allen. Gabe being the one that has the mixer, and who he has raved about it. He loves it. He says that the effects on it are just literally superior to any mixer he's had, but he's also really impressed that it's, for the most part, user friendly. You know, like he loves it and he can figure it out, and he gets more comfortable with it every time he uses it. And in this industry, to have somebody invest in you, whether it's time or product or money or literally anything, it's a huge, huge deal to us. So we can't thank you guys enough for just investing in us and trusting us with your product and that kind of thing. But I cannot wait to go out there and just do it. We've had, I think, 3 shows this year out of the out of the 100 that we had, and it's been really, really cool and really awesome just to have people on the road with me that do the same thing, and also that side is their strength. You know, I am a singer, I am a songwriter, and I'm really good at those 2 things. And I'm really good at those 2 things because I'm not very good at anything else. I'm not an audio person. I don't have a clue how anything works. I'm really bad at it. But Gabe eats that stuff up. He absolutely loves it. So he has absolutely loved playing with the mixer, and I can't wait. We have band rehearsal in a couple of weeks, and we're gonna test it out.
Oh, fun.
It's the ins and outs.
Takes.
Ins and outs
Takes.
with Mackie.
I think it's time for our ins and outtakes, which is a rapid fire of some random questions.
Ooh, okay.
You think you're down for that?
I gotta get ready.
All right, Allie. You seem to always be up to something fun and interesting when I check out your stories on social. What are some of the ways you have stayed creative since live music is less of an option these days?
Okay, so this one I can't take as much credit for, but I'm in love with it. My husband made this wall during COVID, during this year. We have this old fallen apart barn in our backyard that was on the property when we bought it, and we wanted to get rid of it, but we wanted to just pay homage to the barn and whatever life it used to have. So we stripped it down, threw it on this guy, argued a lot on whether this is Tennessee orange or Oklahoma State orange, because one of us is a Tennessee fan and one of us is an Oklahoma State fan.
Oh, gosh.
So we did this, and it's created just, like, honestly an awesome backdrop for my videos and for socials and all those kinds of things. But I spend a lot of time outside. During summertime, kayaking is my thing. I love it. There's a lot of really, really great, super easy rental places here in Tennessee. So I don't even own one. I just go use it, give it back to them, that kind of thing. I have 2 horses. I spend a lot of time with them when I can. And then I've got 2 dogs. Honestly, we just like to stay busy, and we can make anything fun for the most part. So we just do what we do.
So we all know you're a very talented singer-songwriter. Do you have any secret hidden talents that people don't know about?
I'm a pretty good cook, and I love, like, experimenting cooking. So we've done a lot of, like, new stuff this year where we just, like, piece stuff together. I have a really weird, it's a weird talent, but Halloween is, like, my favorite thing on the planet. So I really like special effects makeup. And I really, really like Halloween decorating. So like this year I went to Goodwill and like bought all the baby dolls that they had. And I don't think you want to see the baby dolls now, but they're spooky. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. I love it. So I just love Halloween. I love special effects stuff. I like making things scary. I don't like to be scared though. That's not my thing. So don't scare me, please.
What was your costume this year?
Oh, I was a voodoo doctor. I don't know what the female version of that is. I don't know if I'm like voodoo queen or voodoo doctor, but I spent 2.5 weeks studying how to read tarot cards so that I could do them at all the Halloween parties. So, so I can give you a reading.
Wow. That's a secret hidden talent. That is a secret.
Yes. I had this big old prosthetic eye in the middle of my forehead. That was my third eye that made me see all the secrets and stuff. It was awesome. And my husband was a voodoo doctor with me as well.
I love that. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. So going back to music, what is one of your favorite tour stories or a favorite venue you've performed at?
My favorite venue, I feel like a lot of artists are kind of this way. The venue that we grew up watching music in is the venue that we can't wait to play. And for a lot of people, the venue that you grew up watching artists in really wasn't like that good of a venue. You know what I mean? Like as far as small towns go. So,
Yeah.
So mine is Kane's Ballroom in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I saw Cody Johnson there for the first time. I've seen Ashley McBryde there. My first concert I saw there when I was 14. It was Papa Roach. Loved it. And so we got the opportunity a couple years ago to just do an opening slot for Pat Green at the Kane's Ballroom as a fundraiser for Oklahoma State University, which everybody in my family went to and that kind of thing. So I got the chance to go there as an opener, and it's still on my goals list to headline Kane's Ballroom. But one day I will headline Kane's Ballroom in Tulsa, and that kind of thing.
Yes, you will.
And tour stories, there's so many. I've met so many people that have became more than fans and just true, genuine friends and people that I can look up to and see, and people that I can really count on also as an artist to show up for me. And that's been really, really special. But I think one of my favorite things so far is animals are my life. They're my favorite thing. I grew up, my mom and my aunt did wildlife rehabilitation in Oklahoma. So I just grew up in a clinic and we took care of anything that came in and we just made it work. And we got to play a show in New Jersey, and I'd never been to New Jersey before. But this company called Sea Turtle Recovery reached out to us, who does sea turtle rehabilitation. And so I got to go and play a show for them. But the whole day before the show, I got to go and like see their clinic and like meet all the turtles and like learn their stories. And I got to feed them. I don't know if you've ever seen like a sea turtle up close, but they're like prehistoric, man. It's the craziest thing on the planet. Their little eyeballs like have seen hundreds of years. You know what I mean? Like they're just so cool, and they're just like these little things with their little arms, and oh my gosh, I just loved it. And so we stay in contact with them a lot. We sponsor a lot of the turtles that come in, and we keep up with the release stories and that kind of thing. And through that show, we got to play the Caesar's Palace in New Jersey, not the one in Vegas, but the one in Jersey. And that was cool too. I just never been there. And that was a room built for sound, which is really cool to sing in. But I think just getting to spend the day giving back to that community and helping with what they do was a really, really big deal for us.
What a neat story. What other animals have you and your family helped?
So in Oklahoma, we Wild Heart Ranch is my Aunt Nettie's ranch there in Oklahoma, just outside of Claremore, and they will literally take in anything that is brought to them. So most of the time, it's native wildlife to Oklahoma. Lots of raccoons, possums, beavers, tons of fawns, all that kind of stuff, kind of your basic Oklahoma stuff. But then there's also an issue with like the black market pet trade. Honestly, anywhere. And so we get a lot of that stuff too. So we have Keebler. He's our little lemur. He's just our clinic lemur in Oklahoma. Obviously we can't release him. Don't know what he would do in Oklahoma. But we get those kind of things. Sometimes people will obviously misbreed fox and stuff to get the perfect coat. And the perfect coat for a jacket is this mixture between a red fox and an Arctic fox, which is gorgeous. And I understand why they do it, for the sake of the coat, because it's beautiful. But at the same time, those animals can't survive. They have the anatomy of a red fox with a coat of an Arctic fox in an environment where they will literally like they'll get so hot they'll die. They just can't survive. So we have Hunter and Ozzy. They are our Arctic red foxes that we have, and we just make sure they have tons of like ice cubes in their water, and we just make sure that they're cold enough to do their thing. They're in an outside pen. They just they receive a lot of extra care. But literally everything. I mean, growing up, we had a black bear. My best friend when I was little, my first friend I ever made was a snow leopard. I named her Spot, which I think is really lame now as an adult. But still, when I was a little kid, my very first friend was a snow leopard, little cub that we had to feed every couple of hours from the zoo when they get overflow. And so literally just kind of any animal that you can think of. But my animal, my one thing is elephants. Elephants mean the world to me. Obviously, haven't had one of those brought into the clinic yet in Oklahoma, but I'm still hoping it might happen one day. But I love elephants. I just think they're the coolest things on the planet. So that's a bucket list one for me, is to get to like meet one in the wild.
That's so awesome. And thank you for being someone who cares about animals.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that so much about you, not even just as an artist, but to know that you're like wholeheartedly into something else like that. It's really incredible to learn about someone. So thank you for being another person to champion for animals. I have a pug. She's snoring actually right behind me.
Oh, what's her name?
Are you a pug person?
I just love all animals, but Pug's little face are the greatest things.
She's a little star in a lot of our Mackie has been.
I saw her on the intro. I don't remember what artist you had, but I saw her on the intro. Ashley, I was wondering whose pug that was. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's my baby.
Quick story about Keebler. He's my favorite. He's not mean to people at all, but like as a personality, he's a rude little dude. And we always have like these little English bulldogs, because that's my Aunt Nettie's favorite kind of dog. She loves English bulldogs. So we always have these little clinic English bulldogs that just run around and do whatever. And Keebler will like set his treats like right outside of his like pen, and he'll just sit there and wait. And the bulldog will come up to get the raisin, and Keebler will just smack the hell out of him. And the dog will kind of step back and be like, what just happened? And then, English bulldogs, it's just like squirrel. He's like, oh, a treat. And he'll do it 6 or 7 times. Like there's no learning from the bulldog that he's going to get slapped. There's no end of the amusement for Keebler to get slapped the bulldog. Like it's hysterical. You couldn't even put it in a cartoon. Like it's so perfect. And he's just this ornery little rascal, but I will definitely send you pictures of Keebler.
That's awesome. Thank you. So you have 16 tattoos. Do you have a favorite tattoo you'd like to share the story behind?
So I kind of have a tattoo that nobody knows about, and I think I might tell you about that one. Oddly enough, of all the ones that I have, this is definitely like the lesser cool one, but still. Quick thing about my arms: all of this arm is scripture. Every picture has like a scripture reference on it, that kind of thing. So this is all biblical for me. It's all about my faith. The clock is at 3:01. Everybody always wants to know about the clock. It's at 3:01 for Ecclesiastes 3:01, which is for everything. There's a timing, a season perfect under heaven. I struggle so much with God's timing because my timing just makes more sense to me. But whatever, big man, do your thing. And then this one, I have a flower for everybody in my family. So I have 2 sisters. So I have 2 sunflowers. And then my dad likes blue, so he got a blue flower. He doesn't know anything about flowers, that kind of thing. My mom's got 2 roses because she couldn't pick, and then my bonus mom's a tiger lily. But so these are really important to me. But I don't know if maybe you've noticed in any kind of digging that you've done on me, but our fan base are called cool kids. We're all cool kids. I'm a cool kid. They're cool kids. We have this really cool like supporters page on Facebook. And it's called the Cool Kids Club, and they get like little cool kids stuff, all these things. But where it came from was I'm a cool kid, like I'm a cool kid. That's what I am. I'm a cool kid. I care about the environment, all about land conservation. I'm nice for the most part. You know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. And so my friend and I got really bored one day, and we wanted to go and get our lips tattooed. So it's not an attractive tattoo to show anybody, but mine says cool kid. Sorry, I know there's a glare. You can't really tell. But so that's my cool kid tattoo. So this honestly really weird like goal of mine as an artist is one day I will look like off of stage and I will see somebody going like this and they'll have cool kid on the inside of their lips, kind of thing. So one day I'm speaking it into fruition. Somebody's going to show up to one of my shows and like show me their lip. And I'm going to be like, you're a cool kid. So that's it.
That's so awesome. You also have some pretty cool merch. That your Alco merch is pretty neat. You're actually sporting one of your shirts right now.
Yeah, I'm sporting one. So this was for, this is our work in progress t-shirt. It was supposed to be like like a kind of a construction thing, obviously like work in progress, whatever. And the hook of work in progress is on this journey to me, so obviously this road that just takes you wherever. But our little Easter egg is this says journey to me 612. And like those mile marker signs, that you pass, like, Nashville, however many miles away. So Owasso, where I grew up, Owasso, Oklahoma, is 612 miles from Nashville. So that's kind of where this little journey to me, 612 miles, came from, because it's kind of the journey from home to Nashville and just onward, kind of thing. But most of our merchandise items have little Easter eggs like that on them that you kind of have to talk to me to figure out what it is. Super misleading. I'm not from anywhere that looks like this. Oklahoma is so flat. Couldn't make it look cool on a t-shirt, so we went with the Western style. But we do have tons of merch, all that kind of stuff, on my website on Allie Colleen Music. You guys can check it out. But lots of cool stuff on there.
Awesome. So who are some of the people you've had the pleasure of sharing the studio with, or maybe one favorite artist that you were just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. That was amazing.
I haven't got to do like too many projects with artists like that. I got the chance to write with Ashley McBride once. And I kicked myself kind of every day for it, because we ended up just drinking tequila all night. But at the same time, like, I got to
good too.
right. At the same time, it's like, why am I mad? Like, I might not have an Ashley McBride song or anything, but I got to drink tequila with Ashley all night, and it was so special. It was literally almost just before she got her first CMA female vocalist thing. So needless to say, she's a tough cookie to track down nowadays, and she deserves to be. She's done amazing things for forever. She has, but I'm just such a fan. So I love her. Work in Progress was actually recorded and written with Marcus Hummin, who wrote a lot of like the Dixie Chick songs that I grew up listening to. So that was a really cool moment for me, that my very first single was, one, written with Marcus, but two, he produced it and everything with the other co-writer, which is Greg Beck, who's equally as talented and awesome. And so those were really cool moments for me, just reiterating, that God puts all these people in your path and these people that are going to help you. And I have a new producer now, but Marcus and I are good friends, and I just really cherish that time that I got to work with him.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Allie. Any last words of wisdom you'd like to add to your fans, to people maybe afraid to start carving a path out for themselves and just go for it?
I mean, my biggest thing is tomorrow is always going to be tomorrow. You know what I mean? So just do it today. Like, whatever it is, just do it. Because the scariest thing about anything is just what your mind tells you it's going to be. Which, if you just go find out, that's normally not what happens. You know what I mean? We are our biggest critics. I can talk myself out of anything, literally anything. So one, if you believe in something and you love something and you care about it, just go do it. But honestly, my biggest thing that I try to tell people and myself every day is, gosh darn it, just be kind. Like, just be nice to one another. You know what I mean? Like, just love each other. My dad and I actually were talking yesterday, and he had this really cool little quote about love, and I'll never be able to tell you what it was, but basically what it was the true meaning of love is just removing all the things that make you not love something. Does that make sense at all? So it's like, if you don't like stuff about something, whatever it is, like, just don't look at those things. Like, just look at love, and I really think that that's going to help a lot of people, myself included. One, just losing frustrations, like why we care about the things that we care about really don't make that much sense. And two, just love each other. It's honestly effortless. Just be kind, love each other. That's really all I got. And just whatever you want, go do it. Just go do it. I've got one that came out of quarantine that I'm really proud of, that I would really love to play for you guys. We haven't really done anything with it yet, but it's going to be on all of our stuff for 2021. And it's just a good old sad song. Again, what I do. But I've always considered myself a cowgirl. I don't look like one, but I've always considered myself a cowgirl, and my family dealt, as we've talked about, with wildlife my whole life growing up, and there were some moments in that which weren't awesome. And that's honestly what inspired this song, was just the heartache that cowgirls deal with and that kind of stuff. But then naturally, as we wrote it, it kind of took this different storyline. So I connect a lot of myself with this song. It's always important for me to people that know me or know my parents or anything like that know that this song was just kind of inspired by feelings and stuff. It's not one of those songs that's true for my life. But for some reason, that's just the cool thing about music, is I sing this song and it feels like everything is real in it to me. And so I don't know who this song is 100% for, but it's for all the cowgirls. So this is the Cowgirl Song. 8 years old, put on my coat, grabbed my boots by the door. Daddy wasn't counting on that late of a winter storm. The cry of that mama when she lost her calf. But the cowboys were watching, so I held my tears back. Ain't it funny how life's like that? Life ain't always daffodils and rainbows. It's spurs and working hands and barbed wire on dusty roads. Knowing when to hold on tight or loosen up the rope. You learn a lot by letting go. Some things only a cowgirl knows. Damn that pack of cigarettes in mama's bedside drawer. And damn every empty promise that she don't smoke no more. I curse the day my dad rode off in his beat up Chevrolet. And I feel it every morning as I pick up his weight, like a damn cowboy cliche. Life ain't always daffodils and rainbows. It's spurs and working hands and barbed wire on dusty roads. Knowing when to hold on tight or loosen up the rope. You learn a lot by letting go. Some things only a cowgirl knows. Don't come in until your work is done. Can't stop a horse that wants to run it. Life ain't always daffodils and rainbows. Spurs and working hands and barbed wire on dusty roads. Knowing when to hold on tight or loosen up the road. You learn a lot by letting go. Some things only a cowgirl knows. Some things only a cowgirl knows.
I wanted to let that ring through. Thank you so much. Wow, that was incredible, Allie.
Thank you.
Look what you did. I love it. Thank you for that. Thank you for the performance, thank you for sharing your wonderful journey with us. Can you please remind people where they can find your upcoming live shows and more, Allie?
Absolutely. So everything for me is Allie Colleen Music, ALLIECOLLEEN Music. That's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. I post TikToks. Nobody cares about them. I'm pretty sure it's just Allie Colleen. Twitter is _Allie Colleen. But but you guys can find me anywhere, and I really, really appreciate it. Merch, tour schedule, little road diaries, all that kind of stuff is on alliecolleenmusic.com.
Thank you, Allie. Once again, I'm Jamie Hernandez, and this is the Ins and Outs with Mackie, a show about awesome gear and awesome people. We'll be bringing you musicians, engineers, podcasters, streamers, and sometimes the occasional Mackoid. If you're new to the show, make sure to hit that subscribe button on your favorite platform to get all the latest Mackie updates as soon as they are out. Until next time, Mackoids.